Hi, nice to
Hi,
meet you.
nice to meet you. I'm Sarah. Come have a seat.
Thank you.
So this will be where we will be conducting our interview.
Perfect.
Did you find the place okay?
Yeah, everything was good.
Did you need anything to drink?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll begin. I'm just going to go over how I will be conducting this interview.
Perfect.
So first I will be asking you a couple of questions pertaining to your experience and qualifications. I will then talk a little bit about the grocery store manager position and about the organization. You will have a chance to ask any questions after I've asked you a couple of questions. And I hope you don't mind that I will be taking notes during this interview. It's just for my own personal reference for the future.
No worries.
Okay. So the first question, what job experience do you have working in a similar role?
So I haven't worked at a grocery store before, but I have been a manager at Toys R Us. I was there for 4 years. I did deal with a lot of the operations of the establishment. I dealt with the customer service representatives as well as the associates. Also dealing with any issues that would arise. Sometimes they would just need my support, so I was also supporting them in their roles. And I did deal with payroll and any issues that were happening in the day-to-day, so I am familiar with managing more of a large-scale team.
Okay. How many employees would you say you have managed?
At the most, it's been around 30. Obviously, day to day, not as many people are in the store, but in general, like on a given day, maybe like 15 were in the store.
Mm-hmm. And how long were you in this role?
So I was there for 4 years. I did start at a customer service representative position and then was promoted after 2 years to the manager position.
Okay. What do you feel is your greatest strength as a manager and supervisor?
I think I am able to understand the needs of my employees. I think that's always really important. It's not only about what I have to do as a manager, but also making sure that I'm understanding their needs and making sure that I'm being there to facilitate their success, because at the end of the day, that's also my success.
Okay. And what would you say is your greatest weakness as a manager supervisor?
I think sometimes it is a little difficult handling all of the kind of parts of the role. Sometimes it is a little difficult to balance, but I think I have learned within the time that I was there at that position how to kind of deal with lots of things kind of arising and making sure that I can be up for the challenge.
Okay. What do you feel are some of your qualifications and skills that would make you a good fit for this position?
I think for this position, I know that the company seems to be very large. I know that the store is a lot larger than Toys R Us. So I think I am very versatile in the way that I handle the roles that I've been in. So I think I would be able to use my skills from before, and I think communication is probably key. With such a big team, I think I've been able to communicate really well in past teams, and I've made that something that I think I can bring into this role.
Okay. Can you tell me about a time when you dealt with an unhappy customer?
So that obviously does come with a customer service role. There are always going to be things that arise. I do recall one time where it was a bit of out of our control with our help desk not being able to come to the rescue, I guess, and give us an answer, but I was able to kind of calm down the situation, de-escalate it, and let them know that we were trying to solve the problem with the shipping delay, but I definitely made it worth their while, just making sure that they were comfortable in the store and that I didn't lose the sale, obviously, and made sure that they were happy at the end of the day.
Tell me about a time when you were unable to make a customer happy.
So that does happen often, obviously, depending on your personalities, or, you know, some customers might want an answer right away that I can't give them. I definitely do like to communicate the fact that, you know, I'm trying my best and making sure that if they ever needed anything else, that they can come back. Obviously some things are out of your control, but I think just communicating the fact that you did your best and trying to understand their needs is, I think, the number one thing that I could do.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell me about a time you had a conflict with a coworker and how you dealt with that?
So I think sometimes the conflict could arise because the communication isn't there, or you might have an issue that you're not resolving by talking it out. So there was a misunderstanding in terms of how we are going to fulfill our duties. And when we outlined how we were going to take on the project, there wasn't the right amount of communication. So at the end of the day, it was kind of hard to bring the project into fruition. But as we had that bit of a conflict, we were able to sit down, talk about it, and then know that for next time we had to communicate a little bit better so that we wouldn't have to go through this again. So that's really how I resolved it. It was just through communication.
Okay. Can you tell me about a time you took the lead on a team project?
So as a manager, sometimes I did have to deal with maybe giving out a project to team members, and maybe they were a little lost. So I definitely think that I took the lead in terms of facilitating their success, and being there whenever they needed me. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think I took the lead mostly as a support, and I think by doing that, it was a greater success for the team in general.
Okay. All right, Natalie, I think that's all the questions I had for you. Okay. I'm just going to go over the role and about the organization, and then you will have a chance to ask any questions that you might have. So I'm sure you've shopped at Loblaws before. It's a supermarket chain with over 2,000 stores in Canada. Our headquarters are in Brampton. This position is for this location, the Square One location. It's the manager position for the customer service relations department. So you would be managing the front counter, including cashiers, returns, just dealing with the day-to-day ins and outs of the front counter. A steady shift would be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. There is the occasional weekend and late nights, just depending on the season. So Christmas tend to get pretty busy. You'd be dealing with payroll, money handling, balancing, and just making sure that all your employees are up to date with everything and just performing their jobs.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
Could you maybe go over a typical day of being in this position?
Okay, so you would start your day off by opening the manager's office, going into the lockers and everything for the cashiers. So that would be where they would be putting the money in at the end of the night. So you would be making sure that that everything is balanced from the night before, sending it off to the bank, signing any paperwork that needs to be signed, going over the days or the week schedule, just trying to prepare ahead of time, making sure that all your bases are covered. So if it's a Friday, you need to make sure that you have enough cashiers that will be covering, because Fridays tend to get busier than Mondays or Wednesdays.
Okay.
So just going over that and then just making sure that all operations are running smoothly throughout the day.
Okay, perfect. And then in terms of my start date, when do you think that would be? Like, just because I have another position that I'm in right now, so I would need to have that buffer time.
Of course, we understand that. So we are still conducting interviews. If you were successful, we would email you probably either by the end of this week or beginning next week.
Okay.
And then we would give you a grace period of 2 weeks to accept the offer and then get all your affairs in order, and then you can start.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. It was great to meet you.
You too.
Here, I'll walk you out.
All right, thank you.